Good evening, and thanks for joining us. We start off tonight with another disturbing discovery by a BC First Nation. The Williams Lake First Nation has pinpointed 66 more sites that could be buried human remains. CTV's Ben Milger reports on the findings at a former residential school and the next steps for grieving nations.
Prayers in the Secwepemc language as the dark stain of Canada's colonial legacy grows. The Williams Lake First Nation announcing the results of the second phase of its investigation at a former residential school. With an additional 66, the total number of sites possibly containing human remains now stands at 159.
It is okay to cry and show emotion.
Between 1886 and 1981, thousands of First Nations children from around BC were forced to attend the St. Joseph's Mission Residential School, and many never made it home.
Through the course of the WLFN investigation, we have been able to ascertain that a minimum of 28 children were deceased at the mission. We are also aware that many of these children are buried at the mission in unmarked graves.
Using the voice the school tried to silence, residential school survivor Grant Alphonse proudly sings.
You were not allowed to speak the language, and you were not allowed to sing your own songs.
Talking about his time at the school in the 1970s brings up painful memories.
I've been through a lot. I've been strapped many times. I've been hit. I've been into many fights, physical fights.
Somehow, he survived, but many did not. In its search for the missing, the First Nation has now surveyed less than 5% of the nearly 8 square kilometer site of the school and its adjacent ranch. The investigation includes ground-penetrating radar, archival records, and interviews with survivors who attended the school.
Some Canadians question the legitimacy of the investigation data, whether it be geophysical, documentary, or forensic. To those who are skeptical, we assure you that there is an overwhelming abundance of evidence and that it is being carefully compiled in an orderly and scientific way.
So Ben Milger joins us now. And Ben, what happens next?
Chief Sellers is seeking federal funding to continue the investigation and to possibly excavate and exhume at the site. But that is a very sensitive issue. He says Williams Lake First Nation is in talks with 48 other nations who had children taken to the school to ensure the heart-wrenching work adheres to all cultural protocols and respects the wishes of impacted families. Mi-jung?
Thank you, Ben. And if you or someone you know is affected by this, the number for the National Indian Residential School Crisis Line is 1-866-925-4419.